Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I put together for you 3 itineraries that you can follow when you're visiting Rome. For example, if it's your first time visiting the city, you can, just take advantage of these. Or if you only have one day in Rome or even one afternoon in Rome and you want to make the most out of your day, you can maybe follow one of these 3 itineraries. They are all based in central Rome. So yeah, I hope these itineraries can be useful for you. And without me rambling any further, let's start with the first one. Obviously, all of these itineraries are walkable by feet. You can just walk around without needing to, move by bus or by car or by anything else. With the first one, I thought you might start in Ponte Sant'Angelo in Italian, or St. Angel's Bridge. This is a very famous bridge and it leads you directly to St. Angel's Castle, which I'm sure many of you will know. On the sides, it's full of statues of, guess what? Angels. So you can see the part of Rome that is near to the riverside, which is very charming. Starting from the bridge and you're going on the opposite direction of the castle and you get to Corso Vittorio Emanuele II, which may sound like a scary name, but don't worry, it's just a street which is quite big actually. It's a quite old and big street, and on that street you just walk on the street and you can find several churches and also like pubs and bars. I really like that street. You walk a bit on this Vittorio Emanuele street and then you turn on the left and you arrive to Piazza Navona or Navona Square, which is a rectangular square and it's very famous for the Four Rivers fountain. Sorry, checking my notebook. And since you're in Piazza Navona, I would totally suggest you to visit a church which is quite hidden, but you can find it. You can just search it on Google Maps or just look for the precise address, and it's called Santa Maria dell'Anima. It's quite a tiny church, but it's so beautiful. I have some pictures of that on my Instagram page, so go and check it out. Piazza Navona is actually very close to the Pantheon. So just walk to the Pantheon and enter the Pantheon because it's free entry and enjoy this very old building. So from the Pantheon, you're actually very close to Via del Corso. Via del Corso is a very famous street for shopping. So ladies or any shopping lovers out there, you do not want to miss this. It's a very long street, so you can walk the whole street around and enjoy all sort of shops that there are there. Yeah, that concludes the first itinerary. The second itinerary starts from Piazza Venezia or Venice Square. It's a very famous square and you have the Altare della Patria in it. You've probably seen it at least once in pictures. You can visit the monument and then you can go up to Via Nazionale and then you turn to your left in a tiny little street which is called Via della Pilotta. If you walk all of this little street till the end, you get to the Trevi Fountain. You can obviously enjoy the Trevi Fountain for as long as you can, and then from there you go to there are several ways to reach the next stop, but I usually go to the left of the fountain and I walk from there. I cross Via del Tritone, which is another quite famous street, and then you get to Spanish Square, where the famous Spanish Steps are. This is another place that many tourists love. And from there, when you're done visiting the square, you can walk along Via del Babbuino or Babbuino Street, and then you directly arrive to Piazza del Popolo, which I actually don't know how this is translated in English. I want to say People's Square, but that sounds ridiculous, so I don't think it's translated. But it's a square. It's a very, very famous square, and by this point, I don't know if you will still have some energy. It is a quite long walk, but if you still have some energy, I would highly suggest you to climb up the stairs that you have from Piazza del Popolo to reach the Pincio Terrace. From there, you can have a beautiful view of the city from above, and that concludes our second itinerary. The third and last itinerary starts from Piazza Venezia once again, But instead of going to the direction we went before, we're going to the opposite direction. So you start in the square, you visit the monument, wander around, and then facing the monument, you go to the right. You climb up the famous steps of the Campidoglio and you reach the Campidoglio, which is another square, and it's actually also called Monte Capitolino or Capitoline Hill, which is one of the 7 hills where Rome was founded. At this point you're quite high, and you get down again on the opposite side, so on the back of the monument of the Altare della Patria. I don't think you have steps, I think you have like a slope, some sort of grade, so you arrive to the Roman forums. This is one thing that I always suggest to visit to tourists, but it's also one thing that tourists often ignore. That, you know, that's insane, because basically it's what it was like the center of Rome in the first centuries BC. It's a huge area where there are the ruins of monuments and buildings and squares and everything from the ancient Roman Empire. It's a beautiful place, and if you have time, I highly suggest you to visit the forums. The Roman forums are right before the Colosseum, so you get to see both of them. At the end of this visit and at the end of the street, I would suggest you to turn to your left and climb up to the park of the Colle Oppio or Oppio Hill. It's, you know, just like a park, so you can just rest a little bit after all of this walking. Or if you still have some energy, exit the park and get to Via Merulana, and from there you go all the way up, and at the end of Via Merulana you get to Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore. Very breathtaking basilica. And that concludes our third itinerary. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. I really hope you find it helpful. If you're going to follow any of these itineraries, just let me know in the comments, because I love having feedbacks from you. So give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Ciao! If you hate walking, you probably won't watch this video.